With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
In this question, they have given us a graph which represents three different living organisms, X, Y, and Z, and how they are coping with their external environmental conditions. Now we have to observe this graph and select the correct option regarding these three organisms. So we all know that when environmental conditions are changing, different living organisms can cope with these changes differently or take a different approach to adjusting in the changing environment. So over here in this graph we can see, here we have the internal level, here we have the external level. So basically we are trying to find out how the internal environment of an organism is going to change with changes in the external environment, or we can say in the ambient conditions. So over here in the case of X, we can see a curve where with the external conditions, the internal conditions are also changing accordingly. So this kind of a living organism is known as a conformer, and by conformer we mean that its internal environment is not constant, it is changing with the changing ambient conditions. That is, if the temperature in the external environment is going to change, then the body temperature of such an organism, such a conformer, is also going to change. And similarly, if the osmotic concentration in the surroundings is going to change, then the osmotic concentration inside the body will change accordingly. So such an organism which has been shown in the curve X, where internal conditions are changing along with external conditions, this is an example of a conformer. Now in the second curve we can see, in the curve Y, that this organism is maintaining the same internal level even though the external level is changing continuously. So such an organism is known as a regulator, and by regulator we mean that this organism is capable of maintaining homeostasis. By homeostasis we mean a constant internal environment. Even though ambient conditions are changing, still the body temperature and the osmotic concentration in the internal environment inside the body are going to remain constant. So such a living organism is known as regulator. But most of the living organisms cannot have this approach, because if we look at it from the point of view of energy, energetically it's a very expensive process to constantly have a stable internal environment. So X and Y are respectively conformer and regulator. And over here we can see a third curve where a combination of both of these approaches can be seen. Up to some level, the organism is trying to regulate the conditions inside its body. It's trying to maintain homeostasis. But after a point, it simply starts conforming to the ambient conditions. Now, such organisms are known as partial regulators because they are equipped to handle some changes in the environment. But if the fluctuation or the change in the ambient conditions is very drastic, then in the face of such a drastic change or a big change, these organisms will behave as a conformer. They will not be able to regulate anymore. So over here, X, Y, and Z are conformer, regulator, and partial regulator respectively. After observing the graph, we can conclude that. And therefore, we can say, if we look at the given options, first they are saying X could be a mammal. Now, mammals are not conformers, we know. Mammals are warm-blooded animals. They have constant body temperature. They have constant internal environment. They can maintain homeostasis. So X, since it's a conformer, it cannot be a mammal. Y could be a bird. This is our correct statement over here, because both birds and mammals are warm-blooded. And since Y represents a regulator, Y can be both mammal or bird. Then in the third option they are saying Z could be a mammal. Again, Z is a partial regulator, where mammals are complete regulators. They are warm-blooded organism. So again, the statement is also incorrect. And then they are saying X could be a bird. So again, birds are warm-blooded, whereas X over here is a conformer. It is not able to maintain homeostasis. So only option B is our correct statement over here. Y, because this Y curve is representing a regulator. which is able to maintain homeostasis inside its body, and therefore it could be a bird, that are warm-blooded organisms.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.